What is going on, folks? We are back today with the 2018 February ban list deck profile for the Pendulum Magicians. This here is going to be the deck that I like to play. It is called the Mythical Pendulums, or you can also call it the Pendulum Mythical Magicians, mainly because it starts off with a particular engine, i.e. being the Mythical Beast engine. I'm running many engines in this deck. Some surprising ones, some ones that people may not think work, but I've tested it today. Sorry about that glare. Put it more over here. Some other things that people didn't think would work, but I just tested on YGO Pro, and apparently it does work. So depending on people's viewpoints on rulings, we'll get into that. We can have discussions later on. So the first cards we're playing are three Mythical Beast Master Cerberus cards. This here is a really good starter card. You get this card, you put it in scale, you pop itself, you add a Jackal to your hand, and then at this point you have a level 6 card that also has a Monster Negate, and as well as, I believe, yeah, a Monster Negate. You just remove spell counters with this card, so you put this here. I usually like to start on this side of the board when I'm doing, remember, this is reversed, so this is my board. So I usually like to start on the right side of the board, for left side of your opponent. I like to start over here where I put my first Electromite at, obviously. So my Electromite will go here. So I like to put all the cards that I know are going to stay on the board on the other side, primarily because when they're on the other side of the board, they're not in my way when it comes to using the other zones here that I can use to special summon and stuff like that. So having said that, that's a really good card to start out with, is the Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. Really enjoy this card. You just put it in scale as long as you have nothing else. You pop itself, and then you get to add a level 7 or lower Mythical Beast card from your deck to your hand. So moving on, let me go back in order here. So again, that's three Mythical Beast Master Cerberus cards. And then we go to the three Astrograph Sorcerers. You got to play Astrograph. If you're not, I don't know what the hell you're thinking, but everyone is. Just to continue the trend, we'll go to three Chronograph Sorcerers. So three of those as well. This card's really good too. In my opinion, he might be a little bit better than Astrograph. Now, a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy for saying that, but I say that because when this card, let's say you have a card in your zone, so this is your scale. You have this here, and this for shits and gigs. We'll put Purple Poison there. Little nice good card that people like to use. So Purple Poison there, Black Fang here, okay? You have this card, you have it like this, now you have between a 2 and a 7. You Pendulum summon this out because that's the whole goal when you get that. So that needs to be there, only level 6, right? Maybe you have an Oath Dragon here instead. This doesn't matter, okay? If you pop this card with Electromite, if you have an Electromite here, and you pop this card right here, let's say you win second. Pop this card, he goes to the top of the extra deck. Now, at the same time, this card gets to get special summon from your hand as well as Astrograph. But the thing is with this one is it lets you special summon a card from your hand. So let's just say at that particular point, if you had a Wisdom Eye, in either spot here, let's say you had a Wisdom Eye there, right? Use this effect to pop itself. It goes to the top of the extra deck. You have one of these two in your hand. The one we're talking about is Chronograph Sorcerer. Chronograph Sorcerer special summons himself. This card's already in your hand because you activated the effect of Mythical Beast first to add this to your hand. So if you start off with a hand with, let's say this is your starting hand. You start off with this. Let's just say you have a Black Fang, which is not too far out of the realm, right? You have a Wisdom Eye, and let's just put in one random spell or trap. Let's just say you're playing, let's just say you're playing a Desires. You have a Desires in your hand, right? So this is your 5-card hand, first turn. Let's just say you're going first. You have Master Beast Cerberus, you have Chronograph, Wisdom Eye, and a Black Fang, right? So this is what you're going to do. The first turn you're going to do is you're actually going to make it where you use this card here, you pop itself, right? Pop itself here, send it to the extra deck. Now you add the Jackal to your hand. You don't activate the effect of Chronograph Sorcerer yet to special summon itself. You could. I think the chain will rewind backward enough where you activate this. This will come to your... See, that's the only thing. You need this in your hand first. So I don't know if right when you activate this, if it'll go first before this actually gets to your hand. But in this particular setup, we'll have to test that out because I think you can revolve chains in that way. So you could get this to your hand first and then activate this effect and then special summon it. But we're covered here anyway because we have a Wisdom Eye, right? So in this particular situation, you got the Jackal in your hand, right? The Jackal's in your hand now. Now you can put Wisdom Eye. You can put Black Thing here, Wisdom Eye on this side because you have to have one there. So Wisdom Eye pops himself, thus activating the effect to put a, let's just say you put Oath Dragon there, right? Oath Dragon. Now you can activate this effect, which triggers because one of your cards popped itself, and then that lets you special summon a card from your hand. So now you have Chronograph Sorcerer and Jackal at the same time. Now you could do this. This is a really easy way. I'm thinking about putting more than one of these in my deck for this particular reason. This is a really easy way to automatically go into Naruto at this point because they're both level 6s. I don't know if Naruto is worth it though. In this particular instance, I don't know if Naruto would be worth it in this instance because Naruto is a spell and trap card negate, right? As Jackal is a monster negate. Jackal states each time a spell card is activated, place 2 spell counters on this card when they resolve. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can remove 2 spell counters from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So us activating these cards or anything like that, while this card's on the field, automatically gives us the spell counters on it because they are spell cards. So in this particular instance, because of the way the board is set up, you could easily go into this. If you're worried about someone activating spells or traps on you, go into the Naruto. If you want to keep the negation, see that's where I'm kind of conflicted here to run 2 of these because this is such an easy summon to get Naruto on the field. It does just say since there is 3 of these in the deck, let's say we randomly hit a Pot of Desires, right? And let's say we draw another one of these, right? Somehow now we have to be able to get rid of a card in the Pendulum Zone because this card, in order to activate, you cannot have a card in the Pendulum Zone in order for it to pop itself. But having said that, it doesn't even matter because you could use Electromite, add the Jackal over here, right? And then pop one of your cards, add the Jackal back, and then you can have 2 Jackals, and then you still haven't even Pendulum summoned yet. So you could use one of the Jackals here as an easy target for a card like Mythical Beast, Master Cerberus, to add it to your hand. Use a card like Chronograph Sorcerer. Again, that's what we're talking about mainly, opposed to the way Astrograph Sorcerer works. You could add that card to your hand, right? And then you special summon a card with it. So that automatically gives you a Naruto there, right? So we're not even worried about this one yet. So we already have a Naruto. At this point, we already have a Naruto. Or, if you want to get even more technical, you can special summon something else. You could special summon the Black Thing from your hand instead. We still haven't needed the Pendulum summon yet. We still have a Desires here. So now you have this card here, so you can go into Electromite. It's all about getting those first 2 cards in the field. Chronograph Sorcerer allows you to get 2 cards in the field, opposed to Astrograph Sorcerer, which states you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can choose 1 monster from your graveyard, extra deck, or that was banished, and that was destroyed this turn. Add 1 card with the same name to your hand. So you're just adding a card to your hand. Now that helps your next play. Everyone loves Astrograph because you can go into the overlay of Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, but I think Chronograph Sorcerer is a little bit underlooked as an actual target to actually start with. In that case, because he lets you special summon a card from your hand. It could be anything. If a card is destroyed, you can special summon this card from, then you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. That's all it states. You can special summon 1 card from your hand. It's perfect. So, back to what we were doing here. I'm sorry to go off on a tangent. I just really like to explain my plays sometimes. You can think about things a little bit differently and use a little bit other methods in order to get shit rolling. So let's put everything back here. Let's see what we got. Okay, here we go. So again, we have the 3 Cerberus, right? Let's put that back. Yeah, the 3 Cerberus, the 3 Chronographs, or the 3 Astrographs, sorry. The 3 Chronographs now, Astrograph and Chronograph. Then the next card is the Jackal, of course. Just for that. I'm thinking about putting in 2. I don't know yet. This is a 41 card deck. I'm missing 1 card currently. I'm missing an Upstart, a Goblin, but we'll talk about that later. So he's next, and then we have the 2 Oath Dragon Magicians. Gotta play the Oath Dragon. It's such a good card to put in your low scale. When you put it in low scale, once per turn, you can activate its effect in the Pendulum Zone, which allows you to add 1 Magician monster from your extra deck to your hand, which is pretty awesome. So you're just constantly getting that recursion of resources back from your extra deck, as opposed to like DDDs, they do graveyard recursion, right? So they're able to get stuff back from the graveyard all the time. Oak Dragon is a primary engine that gets your stuff recurred back from your extra deck to your hand so you can play it again rather than having to pendulum summon it out. We're playing the one Time Gazer and the Stargazer, Time Gazer. You have to play them mainly for the Astrograph and Chronograph. They're just a +1, easy +1. If you have one of those in hand, you can put it here, pop itself, throw it to the extra deck. Now it can be pendulum summoned out, and then you can special summon one of these cards from your deck. Their effects are not too good, but they're decent. The one that I would recommend siding out, if you needed one spot to side out, I've side out Stargazer. Not that good, but let's continue. So then we have the 3 Black Fangs. Black Fang Magician, one of my favorites. I love the high scale. Love what it does in the scale. You target one of your opponent's monsters, half their attack, and then you can just run over it with anything you need to. We are playing the 3 Wisdom Eye, which is, of course, this card is so good. It causes so many trigger effects to happen. Just like you saw there, I used Wisdom Eye's effect after we already popped a card with Cerberus. We use Wisdom Eye's effect to pop itself to then activate, just in case the chain wouldn't work that way. Then we can pop this card, and then it'll activate the chain of our Chronograph Sorcerer. We are playing the 3 Purple Poison Magicians. I was playing in a match the other day, and someone activated a Macrocosmos against me, and I popped this card with my Electromite. I had Electromite here, and he activated a Macrocosmos to counter this effect. So I popped this card, it removed it from play. But at the same time, since this card was destroyed by card effect, it doesn't say. All it says is that it's if it's destroyed by card effect, which it was. It doesn't say if it's banished afterward, sent to the graveyard, or anything. So it was destroyed by play, and then I popped his Macrocosmos. So I stopped his. He only got 1 card with it, and I was able to do a 1-for-1 there, which was really nice. So Purple Poison Magician at 3. This is the spicy part. I'll show you in a minute. But we have the 3 Harmonizing Magicians. I'm playing 3 of every magician besides, I believe, Oath Dragon. Oath Dragon's the only one we play at 2. Everyone plays it at 2. Just because you don't want to see it all the time. I mean, it is a good card to start out with, but it is a very searchable card, so you don't need many of them. And you just need to put it in scale, and then it just stays alone. So 3 Harmonizing Magician, of course. Really good card. And now here's the spice. This is the spice I was telling you guys about. Instead of playing the Dark Worm engine, I decided to play 3 of the Rescue Hamster. Now, let me explain this, okay? Rescue Hamster is a card that allows you to do many things in the deck, okay? Rescue Hamster allows you to basically summon itself normally, and then when you do so, you can then activate its effect to tribute itself, target a card in your extra deck. And the way this played out on YGO Pro, if anyone wants to argue with me, I just put up a video of me actually using this effect in YGO Pro. And if we can trust anything, I would hope it would be YGO Pro. So I put this card, I normal summoned it, right? I tributed itself, activating its effect. It didn't even I don't remember if it asked me to target anything first, but you have to have a face-up. I think the one thing that you have to have is a face-up level 5 or lower card on the top of your extra deck. So our Harmonizing Magician is going to activate as that, right? So you normal summon this card. You tribute itself. It says during the turn this card was normal summoned. If you have a face-up level 5 or lower Pendulum monster card in your extra deck, you can tribute this card, choose 1 face-up level 5 or lower Pendulum monster from your extra deck, and special summon 2 monsters from your deck with the same name. Their effects are negated, and they're destroyed at the end of the turn. So put this here. This card is what allows us to activate the effect, right? It doesn't matter. It's not the actual target. It is not the target for the effect. I believe it just needs to be there in order for the effect to take place. Because if we have nothing there, then I don't think it'll do anything. But check this out. So there's the card that allows us to activate the effect. You tribute itself. It goes here. Its effect then pops and triggers and lets you pick 1 level 5 or lower card from the extra deck. It is in the extra deck now. So it is its own target at this point. So then once it's there, you activate its effect. You special summon 2 Rescue Hamsters in defense mode. At that point, you have a 1-card Electromite. Now, everyone thinks that the Dark Worm engine is really good, too, because you use Foolish, send Supreme King Dark Worm to grave, special summon itself out at a Supreme King Gate or Gate Infinity, right? This card here, in my opinion, is better and it takes up less resources in your deck. People are running anywhere from 5 to what, 8 cards for the Dark Worm engine. I've seen some people run 3 Dark Worms, 3 Gates, right? Plus the Dragon Shrine, plus the Foolish Burial. That's 8 cards just for one engine that you want to use only one time, right? The curious thing that I have is it is a pendulum monster. So like if somewhere you can make it where it goes to the grave, like if you use it as an XE summon, you can use it to the grave, and then if you control no monsters, you can special summon again. But if you're going through that play and you end up with no monsters, your board was garbage in the first place. You didn't have many interruptions. If your whatever card you overlay into, in my deck, I have one level 4, which is a Time Star Magician, right? So detaching itself, you're never not going to control any monsters. So after you do the play, Supreme King Dark Worm in the graveyard is absolutely fucking worthless, right? This card, you put it in scale, this is where it breaks the deck. This is where it breaks the deck. You can banish this card from your Pendulum Zone. Add 2 face-up Pendulum monsters with the same name from your extra deck to your hand. So let's say you don't want to do this play, right? Let's say you draw this off start, you have nothing there, right? You somehow do a play where you have a Wisdom Eye. You have a Wisdom Eye, right? You put it here. You pop itself to add one other card there. Let's just say you wanted to get an Black Fang here, or maybe an Oath Dragon, right? You want to get a Black Fang or Oath Dragon in your scale for your high or low scale, right? Usually the target with Wisdom Eye is sometimes Oath Dragon primarily. Sometimes I'll hit a high scale just in case. It depends on what's going on. Okay? Now, this is the point that you're at here, okay? Wisdom Eye does require you to put another card in your other side, which means you'll have to put another card there, which sucks though because the way Wisdom Eye works is you have to have another card in the scale. But if you can somehow get this card out of here, there's many ways in the deck. Electromite, you can even somehow if you can get a Purple Poison off, you can pop your own card. There's another card in the deck. What the hell is it? Not Pendulum Call, but you could use Time Pendulum Graph that I'll show you later to do that. This is a little bit of a different deck profile here. I'm actually showing you how to do the plays live while I'm going through the cards, which I think is really cool because everyone's like, yeah, you show me all these cards, how the hell do I use them, right? Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to use them, especially since I'm trying to introduce an engine that not that many people are using, to be honest. So you put this here. Let's just say you have that open scale. So you put this here. At this point, you have your Wisdom Eye in the extra deck, right? You banish it. Now you special summon 2 of these. Oh, no, sorry. You add 2 of these, I believe, from your deck to your hand. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's actually saying it's even better than I thought. Basically, if you go through a lot of your resources, if you have multiple cards, such as Wisdom Eye, in the extra deck, let's just say you have 2 of these in your extra deck, right? This card, you banish it. It lets you get what we talked about earlier, the recursion of the extra deck. It lets you get them back to your hand faster. So instead of counting on the 1 Oath Dragon Magician to get 1 per turn, you just banish this card from your scale, and then you get to add 2 of the same card from your extra deck to your hand anyway. So that's what breaks the deck, because it lets you recur so much. And then you can start pendulum summoning from your hand instead of wasting extra monster zones from your extra deck. So it lets you get the cards back from your extra deck to your hand, and then you can pendulum summon anywhere you fucking want. Okay? So that's one of the main reasons why we're playing Rescue Hamster. Again, the primary use that I use it, you normal summoned it. Okay? I believe you have to have a target there in a sense, just to activate the effect, but it's not targeted, so it's not the one selected. So that's there, right? You tribute itself because it allows you, because you have a card there, right? You tribute itself, it becomes its own target, you special summon 2 more out. Automatic Electromite. 1 card Electromite right there. Okay? My opinion is better than the Dark Worm engine. Takes up way less cards. The Dark Worm engine takes at least, to play it decently, where it's decently consistent, I run usually 2 Dark Worms, the Gate, and then maybe a Foolish and a Dragon Shrine. So that's 5 cards right there. Just to play it even more consistent, might think about putting in 2 or 3 Dark Worms and maybe 2 Gates plus the 2, which at that point then you're looking at 7 cards. So this is literally Dark Worm right here in a 1 card. Because if you think about it, there's so many cards that get you the Dark Worm engine started, right? One of those cards is Foolish Burial, Dragon Shrine. You want those to be the 2 cards. So at this point, you have a 3-card chance instead of 2 to activate this ability, right? So at that point, you use 1 card, put this to grave, special summon itself. If we're talking about Dark Worm engine here, right? That's 2 cards you're going through. Using a magic or spell card to get you a card and then special summon stuff. At that point, you only have 1. So that's already 2 cards used in order to get 1 card. Then you add the gate, right? The gate is worthless unless you put it in scale for your 0 or your low scale, or if you're using infinity as the high scale. So that's 4 cards. Or 3 cards, sorry. At this point, if you draw one of these 3 cards that are exactly the same, just like if you drew 1 Foolish or 1 Dragon Shrine, you have a 33% chance rather than 50-50 to draw one of these cards over the 2 of those cards, right? Let's just bear with me here. So you draw one of these cards. Let's just say this one acts as Foolish Burial, this one acts as Dragon Shrine, and this one can be one of the other Darkroom cards. Drawing a gate is worthless. You don't need a gate, okay? Drawing a gate is literally broken, and it's a broken hand. You don't need that shit. So we don't even need the other card, right? These are the only 2 cards you need, because the only way to get Darkroom in the grave is these 2 cards, or unless you use like a Lure of Darkness and send it from your hand, if you get that lucky. But everyone wants to see the Foolish Burial or Dragon Shrine in their hand, so that's one of these cards, right? You draw your Foolish Burial. Let's just say it's this card. You can just normal summon itself, tribute itself. 1 card, now you have 2 more cards, right? Instead of going through a spell card to get 1 card in the field, then you get a gate to your hand. That doesn't help you. You only have 1 card still. This card lets you get 2 cards on the field. 2 cards, guys. Why would you play that many cards when you could just do it this way? I'm telling you, try the Rescue Hamster. It's not that much money. It's awesome. Okay? The next card we're going to go with, of course, is our 3 Ghost Ogres. These cards are sexy. They're nice. I love them. Everyone knows what Ghost Ogre does. Play it. You'll win. Next, we have 3 Allure of Darknesses. Right? You know how it is. There's so many darks in the deck. Banish 1. Next, we have 2 Pot of Desires. Now, this is where a little bit more spice happens. Still debating with this myself. After this card would be the Upstart Goblin. I don't have it yet, but that's my 41st card is Upstart Goblin. Duelist Alliance goes in tandem with Pendulum Call and Time Pendulum Graph as the trap. If I have this card in hand and I'm making the combos that I want, this card's basically worthless to me that turn. If I have this card in hand, I'm searching this guy out. I'm setting this one down. Your turn. You do whatever you want. I'm going to pop it up. If I have a Purple Poison here, I'm going to pop your card, pop my card to pop one of your cards. Purple Poison's going to let me pop another, right? So I get 2 cards for the price of 1 card. And this is literally just, it has 2 targets. This one or Pendulum Call. Now, depending on if I need them, I don't really know if Pendulum, it's good. I know it's good, but it doesn't let you do your plays in your zones, but at the same time it protects your Pendulum zones. I know, but you have to play at least one of the trap. You don't have to play this, right? If you just want to play 1 trap and that's it, and if you draw it, you're good. But at this point, with this particular call, if you're playing a Pendulum Call, I would recommend this. If you don't have a Pendulum Call in your deck, maybe run 2 of the trap, because this is kind of worthless just to use a card to search another card when you could have 2 of these. Because then if it gets destroyed, you run the odds of running into it again. You still only have 1 of these in your deck. You have 2 ways to get it, drawing it, or this card to search it. But if you have 2 of them in your deck rather than that, then if you don't want to run this, take this out, run 2 of these, not this one either. That'll be what you do. At that point, in this particular deck profile, you can put it down to 40. Take these 2 out, add 1 of these back, so you have -2 + 1. So then it'll put you at a 40-card deck if you want to. Or you could maybe do this plus 1 of these. It's up to you. Do whatever you want. But I'm just telling you that's the way I like it. So Duelist Alliance is only there just to search out 1 of these if I want to. Just basically it gives me 2 ways to get these cards with only 1 card, which is pretty cool. So that's the main deck. That is 41 cards. If you consider Upstart Goblin, so this is 40 cards here. I just counted out for you. This is 40, but then there is also an Upstart Goblin that is missing from here that will be here soon. Now we're going to go over to the extra deck, and of course you got to play the 3 Electromites. And I say 3 because if you play 2 and you run out of them and you want another one, you could always use the Starving Venom, yeah, but 3, just play 3. You'll love it. It costs a lot of money, but you'll love it. Play a couple more links here. Proxy Dragon. We play Decode Talker and then Borolo Dragon. There's a reason for every one of these. My favorite board to set up as an end board of first turn, I'll show you, is a Decode Talker. I know this isn't the best way you could possibly do it. There's like other things you could go into, like number 38 Harbinger, all kinds of shit like that. But this is the way I like to set it up. So I like to set it up where that's there. This is here. Proxy Dragon here. And then what else do we have? We have the, of course, the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon here. And then maybe another monster if you could. I don't know if it's possible to get that one as well. It might be possible to actually get that. But let's just say you have, it might be possible because you're not overlaying into that. So you could easily have a, I guess you could have a Cerberus here. Not bad. I would recommend putting a card on either side of this. If you could set it up right, I would maybe do this. Right? Maybe that's the best play. Because at this point, you have a 3,300 attack monster that they have to run over with these two cards, right? If they try to attack one of your weaker cards, let's say they try to attack this guy, you can just negate it. Just, yep, fuck you. You're not attacking my cards. You're not going to kill this one. Good luck getting a card that's 3,300 that fast between all these negates, right? So at this point, you just negate their shit. So they activate a monster effect. Nope, negate that, okay? Now, at the same time, you have nothing but cards on your side of the field that protect you. This card negates stuff. And then when it's destroyed, the cool thing is that they try to target one of your cards. Besides a monstering effect with this, they specifically target one of your cards. What you do is you tribute. You can... See, that's the thing. If you already activate this effect, if you already use it, you want to use this effect first. You want to negate the first card that you don't like. Get that shit out of here. Okay? Then you use this card. If your opponent tries to destroy a card you have by battle or by card effect, you then tribute this card, right? That goes to the top of the extra deck with his effect. Okay? You can destroy that card instead. So if he tries to target one of these guys, you use that instead, right? So if he tries to target any of these ones, he might already have his eye on this one just because he didn't like it. And then he was like, fuck you, I'm not going to let you do that shit, so I'm going to stop you from doing that again. So then you can just let him destroy it. Or you could use this one, tribute this card, and then you throw down the real spice of Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. And then this is your ending board after they do something to you, is this here. You have Monster Negate. Once you use that negate, you can use this card to then get rid of it without him destroying one of the other cards. This card here, if he targets another one, you can tribute this one. Granted, that gets rid of some of the attack power of him. But at the same time, if you have it in reverse, if you don't get to this yet, you use his effect to tribute this card. Because you don't want this card here anyway. You'd rather have this one. So once he sends a grave, you have that one there, right? So that's the way that works. So again, let's go through the extra deck. Again, I like to show you guys plays while I'm doing it. This is a really long video, but I like to show you guys plays, okay? So these are all the cards in the extra deck so far. We have all the links. We have 3 Electromites, 1 Proxy Dragon. We have 1 Decoy Talker, 1 Borolo Dragon. Then we have the Xyz. We're playing 1 level 4. We're playing Time Star Magician. Level 6 Naruto. Of course, your level 7 Odd Eyes. Number 38 Hope Harbinger. Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Really good card. Then for Synchros, we're playing 1 Psy-Frame Lord Omega. 1 Ignister, the Vortex Dragon, and 2 Starving Venoms. Now, depending on what I want to do, Harbinger is a really good card. Hard to get out in this deck, but really good card. It makes it a little easier since you do have the Master Cerberuses as level 8s, but they're hard to get on the field sometimes. So you could just take one of these out maybe, and then one card I would add in there would be a Tornado Dragon, which I'll show you. Maybe substitute that out for one of these. Tornado Dragon, just so you can have that on the field, pop stuff. The common duel that I play against is my cousin, who uses a DDD deck that's pretty potent. I don't know why it's not in the meta right now. Not necessarily just his deck, but why DDDs are not played. Because the way he plays them is really insane. He can do such graveyard recursion, it's ridiculous. So this one will let you stop the Dark Contract with the gate. So you just, nope, don't like that, get rid of it. Yeah, so that's that. And then the side deck, I do have some of the cards currently. Really kind of pissing me off that I don't have all of them. But I'll show you the cards I do have, and then I'll talk about the ones that I'm missing. So let me just show you that really quick. So as for the side deck, we're playing 3 Kaijus, level 7s. We're playing 3 Radiant Kaijus. This card, you give it to your opponent. You have another one, special summon it, tribute their card, get rid of their crap. We're playing 2 Wavering Eyes for the mirror match, of course. And then the good card, we're playing 3 Dimensional Barriers. And, you know, that's just an overall good, really good card. And the other cards we're missing 3 Twin Twisters. So let me show you that. I can show you that really quick. So we're playing 3 Twin Twisters, as it states here. 3 Twin Twisters. And then we're also playing some more hand traps. So we're playing a Droll and Lockbird. We're playing 2 Ghost Reapers. And then 2 Ash Blossoms in the side deck. And again, those are not here yet. But that should be 15 cards. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 2 is 10. Or wait, plus 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. And plus 2 is 14. And then we have one of those. We actually can remove these out if you want to. Alright, boys, this is the 2018 February deck profile for the Pendulum Magician deck, mixed with the Mythical Beast engine and the Rescue Hamster, that is. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you folks in the next one. Thank you very much.